across to Anand Ranganathan first. Looked at purely from the lens of political messaging, we've got an attack and a counter-attack over the "Ek hai to safe hai" slogan. Now, safe is a English word. Rahul Gandhi is trying to sell it to a largely rural audience that largely speaks Marathi. Do you think he's been able to get the message across? When you look at the political messaging, who do you think has delivered the knockout blow in the Maharashtra campaign?
Good evening to analysts. Look, I for one don't doubt Mr. Modi's sincerity in what he's and in what he's correct. Hindus are divided, we destroyed. Hain to indeed. And the history of our civilization has proved this time and again. Let me illustrate this not with a historical example of which they are talking, but a contemporary one.
Rahul, remember how Indian Muslims united and indulged in Azad Maidan protests and riots to force the Indian government to take in Muslim Rohingya refugees from Myanmar? Well, it resulted in us ultimately taking in as many as 40,000 Rohingya Muslim refugees. It is another matter that no one from the Indian Muslim community ever united to force the Indian government to settle 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus who were driven out from their own homes. Anyhow, all Hindus remember Azad Maidan. But do we remember Khamom Sheikh? We don't. It is a place in Myanmar where Muslim Rohingyas murdered more than 100 Hindus and their families mercilessly, raped, pillaged, even buried some alive. Many among those Rohingya Muslims who committed this atrocity might be right now in India as refugees. But as I said, no Hindu ever came out to talk about Khamom Sheikh. All we do is get jealous of Indian Muslims uniting for Rohingya Muslims, Lebanese Muslims, Palestinian Muslims, Syrian Muslims. Rahul, if you are jealous of someone else's unity, it means you are divided. So our fate is sealed. But then I ask Prime Minister Narendra Modi, was the Kashmiri Hindu genocide in Kashmir because of Hindu disunity? Fact is, we weren't safe even when we were united. Simple truth is, Hindus unite to choose a government that promised to work for their interests. They united not once, not twice, but 3 times. But what has the government done except give patronizing lectures? Has the BJP government constructed detention centers this side of the Indo-Bangladesh border to allow tens of thousands of persecuted Hindus fleeing the genocide in Bangladesh and standing in chest-high waters of Pisa pleading to be let in? No. Has the constitutional, legal, educational, social discrimination against the Hindus ended? Far from it. Has the BJP government removed exclusive state control on 1 lakh Hindu temples, something that would have allowed Hindus to construct thousands of Hindu schools and hospitals to prevent lakhs of Hindus leaving the fold of Hinduism in the face of incentives given by other religions? No. Has the BJP government decoupled RTE from the 93rd Amendment that forces only Hindu-run schools to give 25% to EVS for reservation, something that has resulted in thousands of only Hindu schools being shut down? No. Has this BJP government abrogated the draconian Waqf Act that has resulted in thousands of acres of Hindu land, including a Hindu temple that is 1,500-year-old being covered? No. Has the BJP government abrogated the Place of Worship Act that bars Hindus to reclaim their own demolished temples? No. Has the BJP government resettled 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus in their own land? No. Rahul, just 30 seconds. Yes, the Congress is anti-Hindu. We know that. Quote, the responsibility for communal peace rests on the majority community, that is the Hindus. If there is a breach of this peace, I would start with the presumption that it has been caused by the Hindu communal elements, unquote. Who said this? Jawaharlal Nehru in 1959. And this is the same psyche that had the Congress in 2009 about to enact a law where only the Hindus would have been held guilty in a communal right even if they were in a minority. The fact is, question is not to the Congress. Question is to you, Modi ji and the BJP. Why are Hindus who united to put you in power, not once, not twice, but 3 times, still unsafe? Why?
Okay. Sanjay Jha, let's stick to the messaging. As far as communication goes, ek hai to safe hai. And a couple of things strike me. One, safe in the way that Rahul Gandhi is trying to use the word safe. You know, most people say tijori, and that's how they perceive it. He's trying to use an English word to try and sell it to a largely rural state. Do you think he's been able to deliver, or would you concede that the Mahayuti has been more on point? It may be brutal in terms of saying batenge to katenge, and you can have objections to the tonality and the language, but have they been able to get their message across?
Rahul, good evening. I know we are discussing Maharashtra, but I think it's very important to juxtapose what was done by the BJP in Jharkhand for the benefit of your viewers who may not be aware. And may I request all the viewers of your very popular and very respected program in India today to kindly Google the BJP's ad campaign for Jharkhand. Extremely vicious, extremely communal, frankly anti-national, because Muslims, to the best of my knowledge, are part of India, right? 200 million Muslims in this country, they vote. They have Aadhaar cards, they have voting cards. And I am astonished and surprised at the vulgarity of the BJP that ran that campaign. And somewhere during this program, that is something that the BJP and their many cheerleaders here will have to answer that question. Here's my point. I live in Maharashtra, and I'll tell you why I'm agitated here today. Because I don't want the BJP to bring their extremely crude, cheap, and divisive politics that they practice in different states and foolishly believe that it will work in Maharashtra. This is a state that, by the way, has Jyotiba Phule as one of its great icons. Let's not forget Dr. Ambedkar. People whom the BJP does not intrinsically and inherently respect. And let me tell you why, Rahul, this will boomerang. And I can't wait for the 23rd of November, because you have Ajit Pawar, a member of the Mahajhuti Alliance. You have Pankaja Munde of the BJP. You have Nitin Gadkari of the BJP. You have Ashok Chavan now of the BJP, who have said that this extremely crude attempt at dividing Maharashtra is not going to work. Can you imagine, Rahul, how embarrassing it is for Narendra Modi, for long considered to be the big trump card of the BJP, to be told by Ajit Pawar, please do not campaign in the...
Let me hold that thought and get Rohan Gupta to respond, because I interviewed Ajit Pawar and this is what he said. I don't agree with this batenge to katenge business. It doesn't sit well with our voters. Others from the BJP like Ashok Chavan, Pankaja Munde have in different ways voiced their differences as well. Maharashtra isn't, typically been like in Uttar Pradesh, which is easy to polarize. Sanjay Jha making the argument that instead of proving to be a vote getter, this could be a weak point in your Achilles' heels.
Rahul, basically when you talk from communication viewpoint, when opposition reacts on your slogan, it means you are winning. If it is not making impact, the opposition will not react. And when you talk about ek hai to safe hai, this is not against anybody. It's about the mindset. My friend Sanjay Jha is here. I'm sorry to say that when he's talking about Jharkhand, he has forgotten to the statement of Mr. Ghulam Ahmed Mir of Congress Party, who says कि हम तो 450 का cylinder घुसपैठियों को भी देंगे. Don't you feel that is shameful? And Rahul, this is not a mistake. This is a mindset, they have to come out of it. Whole election I was in Jharkhand. This घुसपैठिया issue, this inflated issue is a serious issue. In Santal, if 15% population of Adivasis goes down and even Congress Party and JMM is not speaking, what are they talking about? Their eyes are completely shut. So, Ek Hai To Safe is the slogan of the country. This is not dividing anybody, it is uniting the country. It is a mind of appeasement. अगर इंडी गठबंधन एक है तो भ्रष्टाचार सेफ है, घुसपैठिए सेफ है, इनका अपीसमेंट सेफ है, ये नहीं होगा. राहुल, क्यों आप ऑपोजिशन जो है वो पूरा ट्रैप में फंस चुका है. मोदी जी ने पूरे देश को एक रहने की बात की है, देश को बंटना नहीं है, ये बात का है. अगर आपके माइंड में अपीसमेंट है, अगर आपके माइंड में घुसपैठिए है, तो बोलते हैं कि जिसकी आंखें पीली उसको सब पीला दिखता है. So that is what has happened and they are in...
Mohan Kumaramangalam, this was the BJP slogan. The Congress is reacting to it and making it the pivot of their campaign. The BJP says this is our victory. We gave the slogan. You're copying it, trying to turn a spin on it. But we set the message, we set the narrative, and everybody's basically reacting, and therefore we've struck home harder.
Well, first of all, I don't think whatever the Congress did in terms of safe, showing the Tijori as a safe, is actually the pivot of our campaign. And from what I've heard of the Maharashtra elections on the ground, each election is being fought very close. Local issues have started to matter a lot more. And frankly, in developed states like Maharashtra, like even my home state of Tamil Nadu, no matter how much BJP has tried to polarize the electorate with the, slogans like batenge to katenge, or with slogans like ek hai to safe hai, it hasn't worked. And I don't think it's going to work in Maharashtra at all as well. I think what's happened today with Vinod Tavde is, a great example. Will have a big impact on voting tomorrow, because the questions that Congress has raised by putting a safe out there is like ek rahenge is who? Dharavi and Adani and Modi, Ajit Pawar and BJP, or forget everything else. Is it for Fadnavis and Tavde? because as you've heard, that the person who caught Tavade said that he was actually tipped off by the BJP himself. So maybe this is Mr. Modi making a call for unity within his own party. And what is this safe? Is it safety for those who crossed over to their side from prosecution from the ED, CBI, or IT? You know, the people of
No,
Maharashtra,
but just one second.